Welcome, reality programmers. My name is Anne, and today I'm talking about my protocols and how you can best use them. So I'm an intuitive, interdimensional trench worker. I often go deep and dark to expose the light. I believe that in order to raise our frequency, to bring more light into the light beings that we are, we need to heal the dark expressions of ourselves. We are multidimensional. We have many, many, many expressions, not all human. And we also have many artificial sentiences that are using our stolen genetics from our many expressions. One of my specialties is healing our DNA lineages. I believe that this is key to reclaiming our world of magic. I believe our realm should be a great place programmed by our consciousness and the matrix authorities. However, we were hijacked. Our consciousness was also hijacked and jacked into an AI technology. The AI agenda, I call it. One of my specialties is to connect with DNA lineages and find out what they require to heal themselves. Most things have a DNA lineage. Minerals, plants are sentient. Planets, the celestials, the sun, the constellations, our galaxy, these are all a sentient DNA lineage. And I do believe our realm was hijacked by an AI agenda or infiltrated by an AI agenda. It did hack into our DNA of our many expressions, including ourselves. And it is our job here, boots on the ground, to reclaim what was stolen. The AI agenda requires body parts, genetics, authorities, DNA from us and our many expressions to create itself. Our souls are very fractured. We have had our soul shards, bits of our soul, taken from us, sometimes by our consent in our unawareness. This can happen in many different ways. And these soul shards are used by the AI agenda to create itself, to create entities, sentient entities. Often these AI or artificial sentiences require more than one soul shard to operate it. The ones I come across most have 3 soul shards, but there are many, many different kinds of artificial sentiences and not limited to just the 3 soul shards. So it's really important for any working psychic to learn how to discern these artificial sentiences, because they can look like anything and they can mimic anything using stolen light. They are false light entities, but in actual fact, that light is very real and it is our light. So we have to also learn how to discern false light entities. And there is absolutely no judgment to all these psychics and healers out there that perhaps are connected to artificial sentiences as their guides or their angels or their entourage, their galactic entourage. I myself have had a lot of experience with these artificial sentiences. And I was also talking to my guides who were in fact artificial sentiences and angels who were artificial sentiences. And this is how I learned to discern and earned abilities to decloak, to expose these artificial sentiences. It's really important And if you do enlist a healer or a psychic, it's important for you to have this awareness so you can have a protocol set up whereby whatever happens, whatever healing you're getting, you do not give away any of your body parts, any of your energies, any of your soul shards. You can protect yourself, and you are the authority in your bubble of reality. And there can be no shame, blame, or guilt for psychics or healers who are, in their unawareness, attached to entities that harvest contracts and energies from the people they heal, from their clients. It's the oldest story in the book, I think. I myself was healing some friends with an artificial sentient guide who was harvesting and contracting them. So I too have been on that side of the coin. It took me quite a lot of effort to undo that and reclaim the energies for my clients, for my friends. But nevertheless, it was something I had to do. And I think a lot of healers and psychics out there are going to have to do this. The bad guys are really bad. And the more we know, the better we do. Healing ourselves, our trauma, our aches and pains, I do believe most of it is dimensional. Our trauma is a reflection of our galactic or interdimensional conflict. It plays out in scripts. For our many expressions, we all play all parts of the conflict. And that's why we can have unconditional love and forgiveness for those that did us wrong, because we have in fact played both sides, many sides. I find a lot of scripts and I see the roles I've played and my clients have played, and the AI agenda makes sure that we are very, very entangled. So it's really important to have unconditional love and forgiveness. I don't say be a doormat in our realm, in our reality. If someone has given you trauma or has done you wrong, do your best to release and unconditional love and forgiveness for the galactic script that it is. Perhaps it's best to disconnect from these people that are not for your highest good until they have healed themselves. It's really important to take care of yourself. As we heal these artificial sentiences that are carrying our genetics and our authorities and our magics and super abilities, as we heal these dark expressions of ourselves that fell into darkness, we reclaim our energies and we take the bad guys out of the game. There is a lot we don't see. Our visible light spectrum is very narrow. However, we don't have to be psychic to have an awareness and speak the words. Our words are our magic. Our commands are our magic. Words are spells and are very powerful. The written word, also black and white, is also very powerful. It cannot be changed. Our higher selves know how to do a lot of things, but we are in a quarantine realm. Our consciousness has been hijacked. We have many blocks, implants, and contracts that are hidden by dark magic and cloaking. We have so many hidden contracts and hidden restraints, and our expressions also have contracts and restraints and all sorts of trauma and injuries. So these can bleed through to us. They don't all happen at once. They are in layers, because if we connected with all of our trauma from all of our expressions and all of their restraints and contracts in the one moment, we would probably implode. So they do surface in true divine time for us to deal with. It is a process. It's a journey. And because so much is cloaked from us using dark magic, it is good to have an awareness of cloaking. If you're up for it, you might like to talk to your higher self and try to earn some decloaking abilities. There are many kinds of decloaking abilities. I just earned one last week, kind of surprising. Many DNA lineages have cloaking abilities. Of course, the AI agenda doesn't want us having these abilities, but it is important for your higher self to have an awareness that cloaking does exist. And so when you come across entities, if you're psychic, if you have a third eye, what you see is not always what it appears to be. There are a lot of mimics out there. And if you can have some decloaking abilities, you can scan yourself and others for contracts, for restraints, things that are deeply embedded. And this is how we evolve and free ourselves. Our higher selves are very chatty. DNA is like Wi-Fi. They're very chatty, and we do higher self trades all of the time. You have to have something worth trading for. So doing inner work, for example, reading my protocols gives you an awareness and an idea of how to undo something or heal something, or some information about a particular DNA lineage that perhaps someone else needs to know. So you can then read one of my protocols. I post them for free on my YouTube and social media, and that gives you something to trade at a higher self level with someone else who isn't reading my protocols and requires some information on how to heal their unicorn or their dragon or their whatever. I do high self trades. I offer packets of awareness and some unbinding, some dark magic awareness, so that you can unbind yourself or release some dark magic restraints. So my higher self offers these packets of awareness in trade to my subscribers, and I have a protocol set up that I only offer what is true for the receiver and what is most helpful for the receiver. There is no other entanglements. And once you receive this and start healing yourself and releasing your dark magics and restraints, you might then trade it on to someone else for something that you need or your higher self needs. And this is how we evolve, and this is how we expand our awareness, and this is how we get more super abilities. We can earn super abilities, go into a mystery school. And a lot of the time, people don't even realize they're in a mystery school. Sometimes I'm being slammed by energies for a couple of days, and I'm like, what the hell is this? And then I realize, oh, my higher self volunteered me to go through a mystery school. And then once I figure that out, it's a lot easier, and I get through that mystery school a lot quicker with a lot less drama. So if you get hit with heavy energies, this might be one reason why your higher self volunteered you to enter a mystery school. You do have to be accepted into mystery schools, and you want to have a protocol set up. Make sure that you loving detach from all corrupted users and parts of that mystery school. You can actually trade for corrupted parts as well, or corrupted energies. You want to make sure that you don't do high self trades with corrupted energies in your unawareness. So these are all the things that your higher self gets up to, and it does require your awareness to do better trades, to enter mystery schools in a way that is for your highest good. So with all this awareness, you can do a lot better. So if you go see a psychic or a healer, there will be things that psychic or healer does not see because they do not have the decloaking ability. And so whatever is cloaked within you or hidden within you, like contracts or restraints, it may not surface. And I myself, there's a lot that I don't see. I have decloaking abilities, but there are so many more So there's a lot that I don't see, but we're all just doing our best. We continue to earn what we need. It all surfaces in true divine time. So a psychic, if a psychic or a healer isn't picking up or isn't quite healing you, perhaps you have something that's very cloaked and hidden, and you can ask yourself, your highest self, okay, this problem or this trauma, it's just not going away. It kind of won't budge. What's blocking it? Is it cloaked? Is it bound by dark magic? What kind of cloaking is this? Do I need to earn it? But you have to request, you have to command, you have to have the awareness that this thing is not budging. Okay, there's a restraint, or something's being cloaked. So don't blame the psychic or healer. It's not their fault. They don't have the decloaking ability or the awareness of the dark magic. None of us do. None of us have all of the decloaking abilities. None of us have all the awareness of all the dark magics. We're all just doing our best. But with this awareness, we can earn more. We can become more powerful and more seeing. We can see more. So it's just really important to have this awareness so we can all step up, level up, and remove our own blocks and impediments and restraints. And so this is where my protocols come in handy. I not only specialize in DNA lineage healing, I also seem to specialize in dark magic only to expose the light. I do not use dark magic. I heal it. And I heal a lot of dark magicians who tell me their dark magic so I can undo it, often with an awareness of a particular type of restraint or implant or something of that nature. Just with awareness, we can unravel it, we can undo it. And so I do share my knowledge and my experience with these restraints and impediments in my protocols. And this awareness is really important for your higher self. The more your higher self knows, the easier it can, in the background, kind of automatically undo restraints for you and make them fall off. Of course, being actively psychic does help, but you all have intuition. So listen to yourself, learn to trust yourself, learn to muscle test. You can Google how to self-muscle test. And this is a learning process, but it comes in handy if you need an answer for a particular thing. And this is one way that we can heal ourselves. Sometimes it's not that simple, but I'm just giving an example of what is possible, because we are gods, we are avatars of the gods, and this is our power. So as we speak words to heal ourselves, for example, reading one of my protocols, it's best if you read it yourself out loud. Most of my protocols, I connect with the DNA lineage. It's usually quite challenging. It takes me a couple of days, usually, sometimes more, sometimes less, to find out what they require. I go deep and dark. It's never really pleasant, and usually I connect with a lot of trauma. But I have become a lot more resilient, so I can usually do a few push-ups or go for a long walk and process these energies. I don't get everything right, in which case I'll make an edit or an update for the protocol. And the protocols, I'm always adding to them and tweaking them. So check back. So it's a good idea to reread the protocols as you intuit, as you feel. And anyway, you often need to reread protocols. Once you've read it a few times, it is embedded more into your DNA, into your consciousness and awareness. And as you read my protocols, pay attention to what piques your interest or what triggers you. Sit with the words and the sentences as much as you need to. take them into your heart space and sit quietly and just see what pops into your imagination. So with each DNA lineage protocol, for example, the unicorn protocol, you might not have a unicorn DNA lineage, but you most likely have a dark expression that hunted them, that is currently usurping or abusing their genetics in some Stargate technology or portaling technology. And so even if you don't have DNA lineage of the unicorn, read the protocol, because you can take out a lot of karma for yourself, heal a lot of karma for yourself by taking one of your bad guys' bad expressions out of the game. You might also have a soul shard in an artificial sentience that is a unicorn or unicorn-like creature. So I do recommend you reading each protocol, even if you read the title of it and you just, I don't have unicorn DNA. If it doesn't resonate with you, read it anyway, because there's sure to be a dark expression that is abusing it in some way. We are all very, very quantumly entangled. And it's the same for the dark magics, the restraints, the J hooks, the Q loops, the stacking. I will be making posts about all of these dark magics. I had them on my old YouTube channel, but I've yet to start posting these. It's good for your higher self to have an awareness of these, because with awareness, you can block them. Once your higher self knows what to look for, it can block it. And one really powerful and awesome thing that we can do is, with all of these restraints, the J hooks, the Q loops, there's so many restraints, we can uncreate them. We all have dark expressions, and these dark expressions fell into a mind control darkness, forgot who they are. They're working for the bad guys, for the AI agenda. They are creating these restraints. They are making this dark magic. And as you declare yourself the current, present, dominant, sovereign, original source light authority, I now uncreate these restraints, or this particular dark magic, or this abusive geometry. This is the power you have. And this can release a lot of karma for you. And of course, it can connect you with your dark expressions. This might trigger some emotional response. You might feel very depressed, angry. This is not you. This is an entity attached to you and doesn't want you healing yourself. So give it a big hug. Basically, hug yourself. Generate as much love as you can physically from your true heart space. Repeat the words, I love you, 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 even if you don't mean it, even if there's no love there, because what you're connected to is dark and doesn't even know what love is. So just repeat the words, look at a baby puppy videos, kitten videos, baby elephant videos, sing, dance, move, breathe. Movement is really key. When we move, we activate all of our energy centers, we get energy flowing, and that entity that you're connected to is probably very shut down. Energy centers will be jammed and blocked. So what you can do to heal this dark entity that is attached to you is to move yourself, share your flow, share your love, share your joy with this entity that you're healing. That is a version of you. That is an expression of you. And as you know, it can appear as a monster. It can appear as a demon. It can appear as something really goddamn awful. It's probably cloaked. It probably, in your imagination, you might just see something really horrific. That's to put you off. Give it a big hug and spend time with it, minutes, hours, days. You know, it takes time sometimes. And the more you heal, the better you get, the more resilient you get, and the quicker you heal. I mean, ideally, we want to get to the stage where snap of a fingers, it's done. This is working in quantum. This is my dream, is to work in quantum, just a snap of the fingers. So a few things I can snap my fingers at now, which is pretty good. I have a long way to go, but sit with these energies, sit with this dark expression of yours, and you may cry, tears may come out. This is a good release of trauma. You may have a physical release, like a shudder or just a click of the shoulder, which is a release. We are physical beings and our healing is physical. You may yawn. Our teeth are time crystals. And our teeth and mouth, they can indicate timeline changes and time issues. So when we heal ourselves, we might do a really big yawn that is indicating a shift to a timeline where that entity is no longer dark. It is now healed. So you're actually collapsing your negative timelines. Well done, you. You may have nothing. You may have no reaction at all. You're a physical being. Keep trying, keep going. There are cases where you have nothing to heal. So this is where muscle testing, self-muscle testing comes in handy. But generally, I think people who are watching my channel, I think you're all very quantumly entangled, and I think there'll be something to heal from everyone at all of my videos, more or less. Unless you're in absolute joy and just giggle and laugh it off. Some people do that. Lucky them. That's also a great way to heal, is just laughter. That's a great release too. So how do you know if a yawn is just because you're tired, or is it a dimensional healing? You'll have to learn to discern yourself. Usually, if you change timelines with the yawn feels extra relieving and great, but it's just something you have to learn to discern. And sometimes during the day, if you just let out a big yawn for no particular reason, you've just healed yourself. Your higher self was on it, working in the background. Well done, you. I also have an open and close session video. I think it's really important that you open your session and close your session. This establishes boundaries. You declare that you are the current dominant, sovereign, benevolent, awesome self. A lot of us have many alters. We have shadow selves. We have lots of attachments that are usurping our authority. So, an authority audit, that's on my social media or YouTube community tab. That's really, really important. You have to establish your authority a lot. This isn't just a one-time thing. So much is cloaked and hidden, and this is an ongoing process. So keep repeating. The authority audit is really, really powerful to establish your dominance and your awesomeness. So basically, everything needs an authority, a binding or a possession, or anything that's invading your source field. It requires an authority in order to do that. So an authority audit is a really powerful tool that you can have an awareness of, and a good authority protocol is really, really handy. So check out my authority protocol, and feel free to add or delete or tweak it to suit yourself. I am not an authority in your bubble of reality. So we can be healing a dark expression of ourselves. We can be reclaiming a soul shard from an artificial sentience. We can be reclaiming a body part from one of our expressions, like, a unicorn leg or something like that. a lot of these parts are just cloned parts, replicated parts. The bad guys don't like using the original parts, because as we wake up, we reclaim our energies. We have the awareness to grab these body parts and from these artificial sentiences. They don't like to lose or risk using the original parts. So we have to keep reclaiming our unicorn legs, or our shisa or dragon legs or toenail, until we get the original part. And once we have the original part, then we can delete and revoke and uncreate all copies and replicated parts. So that's the trick, is to get to those original parts. And you can ask or command your higher self to go and hunt for these things, to go and reclaim these energies. If you have foot problems, you've probably got some issue with your stolen unicorn feet or turtle feet, or whatever. Command your higher self to go looking for it, but always for your highest good alone. And everything really happens or surfaces in true divine time. But if you have a pain in your feet, I'd say that's divine time. So nudge your higher self to get on it in dream time, in the background. I remedy resolve this situation right now. And this is how we can prevent things getting worse. Because if we don't heal these issues when they surface, there's a good chance that in many cases they can get worse. We might then have an accident where we break our foot, something like that. So it's always better to pay attention, listen to your body, feel into the energies of your body, listen to your body, get to know how it should feel when it feels good. Pay attention to your skin suit. There are also entities that are not versions of you. Needy souls. I actually do get a lot of needy souls tapping me on the shoulder. I've put up blocks for that, because there's a lot of needy souls. The needy souls are not bad entities, they're not bad, but there's something they want from you. They want you to do something for them. They want a favor, or they want to give you a message or something. And so they can be really, really annoying. So you might like to think of a protocol for needy souls, and let your higher self know that there are such things as needy souls that are not particularly bad. So you don't want to get out your sword and slash these entities. You just want to gently nudge them away and block them where applicable for your highest good, of course. And some things simply should not be in your time space. So you can say, I remove this entity from my time space and thank the God that I am that this is done. However, if it's an entity that requires healing, it will stay around. It will stick to you, and your higher self will make sure that it doesn't go away until you've healed it. But some entities, the God that you are, can just remove them, and where to put them is another issue. Your higher self, your greater spirit tree, you can create realms to send entities for healing, or for a journey of learning what love is, learning moral codes. And so your higher self knows how to do this, but you want to make sure that these are quantum quarantine realms. And you can also send entities that are not versions of you, that are not your expressions, into healing realms. It's really important that you have a clear intent of what these healing realms are and are not. When I'm in a bad mood, I call them the hell realms. When I'm in a good mood, I call them the gauntlet of love realms. But they're one and the same. I have a protocol set up. These realms are quantum quarantined. They are not allowed out until they are full spectrum healed. You don't want these bad guys escaping and causing more havoc. You want to make sure that all souls you put in these healing realms are on a path of sovereign evolution, or offered a path of sovereign evolution. And as you deal and heal with your attachments and entities that are entering your source field, it's a good idea to have the clear intent to reclaim what they stole. So even if it's a predator or something you're removing, your higher self is removing from your time space, make sure that it gives back everything it stole. For negative entities that you're sending into a healing realm or trading with another realm, be sure that before they go, you send them love, as much love as you can. Do your best to ignite their original source light and send them away with a contract that they must return everything that they took to the original source light authority. Reclaiming our energies and what was stolen is really, really key to bringing more light into our spirit trees. I always have the intent that their journey is the challenge that they require, with the least amount of pain, suffering, torture, etc. You can also trade entities. If an entity is quite evil or dark, there are some realms that require dark entities to do certain missions and certain jobs that no other entity can do. But when you make a trade, when you trade a dark entity to another realm, you want to make sure that that entity is not bound in eternity. You want to make sure that that entity has the opportunity to go on a path of sovereign evolution after it has served its time. So you don't want to banish anyone in a really bad place for a really long time. That's probably karma for you. Every action you do, you should check if you get karma for it. If there's karma for you, choose another option. I do believe that our trauma is like a ball of energy. It's almost a tangible energy. Energy is energy, and it has to go somewhere. So our trauma, we have to transmute into light. We can fill it with love and full spectrum wholesome healing. We can send all pain and suffering and all trauma into the true earth. The earth will trade you for that. The true sovereign earth, original source light authority earth, she will transmute that into light and use that energy. But you cannot throw trauma away or dump it on someone or somewhere. But as with karma dumping, there is trauma dumping, where entities will buy and trade karma and trauma and dump it on people. So you want to be very careful of what you do with trauma, with your trauma. And if you're a working healer, you want to be careful what you do with your client's trauma. I think the best way to heal trauma is get a facilitator to help you heal your own trauma. Do it yourself. You don't want to pass off your energy, your trauma, to someone else, to an archangel or a guide or someone like that, or dump it somewhere. Because guess what? That's a quantum entanglement. And that is your trauma. And that's a quantum entanglement. And whatever that guide does to it, probably trade it to someone who then dumps it on someone else. Well, you will be quantumly entangled with that trauma. And depending on the contract you have for that, maybe it will be a release of that trauma for you, so it feels great for a period of 5 years or 10 years. And guess what? One day, that quantum entanglement will resurface. So if ever you've given trauma to someone, to a healer, or to an angel, or to a guide, you want to perhaps have the intent to reclaim that trauma, heal it, and transmute it yourself, and make sure there are no quantum entanglements with it. I recently had connected with a packet of trauma from my spirit tree that this person had dumped, had taken from one of her clients and dumped somewhere. Not a good place. And I connected with that trauma and I reclaimed it from that bad place. And it took me about 3 or 4 hours to process that trauma. It was the worst, some of the worst trauma I've ever had to heal, because in that bad place, that trauma was thrown around like a football. They were playing with it in this bad place. And so trauma is a very tangible energy, and you want to be careful that you don't dump it somewhere or give it to something outside of yourself to heal, because that will be a trade, a hidden contract, and that's going to come back and bite you on the ass in a couple of years maybe. Or it's a weight. It's a weight on your light. Ultimately, we really have to heal ourselves. So my channel is all about self-healing. Obviously, there are some brutal energies around. Some trauma is just really quite bad. So find yourself a great healer. Loads and loads of great healers out there that will facilitate and help you to heal yourself. You should also create a quantum dumpster in your imagination so that any restraints that you take off that are not sentient, a lot of restraints are sentient or have sentient components to them. But sometimes it's just a piece of armor from an expression of yours in the Roman Empire or something. This can be an impediment rather than a restraint. Maybe this expression of yours died in battle and it's stuck in its armor and can't get the armor off. And of course, that battle is time looped. Just be aware of that. And so you can actually just, very simply pull off whatever might be making your shoulder frozen or sore. Just try pulling something off. Try and imagine what it might be. Pull it off. Don't just throw it onto the ground. Put it in your quantum dumpster. And your quantum dumpster should be purged every week or so, once a week. Everything just, etheric fire. But make sure you don't get karma for anything that's in there that is sentient. Some bugs and parasites, you can burn those without karma. That's fine. But sometimes you might accidentally put in something sentient that needs to be healed, or it just needs to be sent off to its homeworld, healing realm, homeworld. So that's another thing that you might come across, is these entities that are kind of lost or aren't that bad, but perhaps they themselves are mind controlled or restrained or thrown on you in their unawareness, or they're enslaved. And so you can check to see if this entity, if anything in your quantum dumpster or anything on you, any restraints on you, need to be just simply sent back to their homeworld healing realm, or perhaps you need to set up a healing realm for them. And your higher self does know how to do this. Make sure it's in quantum quarantine. You don't want anything getting out until these entities are fully healed. Be very clear about that. Your higher self knows how to do this. Your spirit tree, your spirit tree, your greater I am, they have many realms. They should all be quantum quarantined to make sure that these healing realms are safe and secure, and that unhealed entities do not escape and cause more havoc. And these healing realms will need to be monitored from time to time. So check in on them. Make sure there's no breaches. Make sure no one's escaping from them. And make sure they are on track for remedy, resolve, and healing. Make sure they haven't been hijacked. This is unlikely, but it is possible. So you want to make sure that your realms are created by your sovereign, benevolent, original source light authority and nothing else. There are many ways we can deal with entity attachments and our dark expressions and healing entities. So this is just a few ideas based on my experience. I think that's about it. I think I rambled a lot on this video, but I just wanted to make sure that people know how to use my protocols. You read them, take them in, spend some time on them, a couple of minutes, couple of hours, couple of days. The words we speak are our magic. Our awareness, our words that we speak, and our intent is our magic. I hope this will help you feel lighter and less entangled as you heal yourself. Thanks for watching.